Oh, we're on.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Rick and Kelly Show, episode 144. It just occurred to me that 144 is a dozen.
Yes.
144 is a dozen. Welcome to the dozen Rick and Kelly Show. Coming up, Kim D, Uncut. You're going to love it. It is very entertaining, in my humble opinion. Also, I managed to get a copy of the Newsmax interview I did with Jimmy Hayward and his parents on Wednesday. It's my monologue and the interview with the family.
In case you didn't see it. I thought it was great. And I want to talk about that too.
If you didn't see it, you can if you did see it, you can fast forward through it. And if you didn't, it'll give you a sense of the kind of stuff that I do on that Newsmax show every afternoon at 4 p.m. local, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Let's talk about that.
Okay, you want to do it right now?
Yeah. Right? Are you going to do that, or are you going to talk about Kim D?
Well, I was going to end the show with Kim D.
Okay, but we're going to talk. I want to talk about
the kid.
I like both. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
I don't know how he did the rundown.
Oh well, I had it later, but we can do it now.
Okay.
This kid went viral on X.
Let's talk about really quick how Huntington Beach is very, very Republican. Very, very patriotic.
Mm-hmm. That's actually in my open monologue.
It was a place during COVID where it was free, no mask, and it was like the whole city, the whole whatever would shut you down.
Bars were open.
Yeah, they were like, you're not allowed to come in to any bar or restaurant with a mask on. This is like how Huntington Beach is.
Yeah. It's a very conservative town.
But it's weird there because Huntington Beach it's really kind of, it's a rougher crowd. Mm-hmm. They have a lot of people, women, men with a lot of tattoos. Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem Republican. When you think of Republican,
no, it does to me.
It does?
Oh yeah, because they're conservative and they're sure they got a rough edge, but so does much of America. Like it's
America.
Just they're real people.
I think when I think of Republican, I think of like Martha's Vineyard, or like
you do
the Hamptons.
Oh, there's a lot of liberals in the Hamptons and Martha's Vineyard.
Oh, is
that
there?
East Coast liberal crowd loves it out there.
Oh, do they?
Obama's got a house there. The Clintons would always vacation there. To me, because I grew up on the East Coast, I get what you're saying. It's wealthy.
When I went to Martha's,
that's the liberal.
When I went to Martha's Vineyard when I was 20,
yeah,
it was all white. I'm from Arizona. Like,
yeah,
we're all like Mexican. Like, we are like the Mexicans. Like, you know how you have like like it is like all brown there, and there's a lot of white people there too. But it's like, to me, it just seemed lily white to me.
Yes, and wealthy. But a lot of liberal wealthy people.
Yeah.
I'm not saying everybody. Of course, there's a mix wherever you go.
Right.
But Huntington Beach is not that.
Yeah.
Huntington Beach is like, get the hell out of the way. But they're cool over there. I don't mean it that way.
I like it in Huntington Beach.
I do too.
I like Huntington Beach.
We might wind up moving there.
Yeah.
It's only a few miles up the PCH.
It's 4 miles. We can ride our bikes there.
So this little kid goes to this private Catholic school, and I'd say all this in the monologue, but when he got shut down by the principal because the speech was too patriotic or she didn't like the language in it, they posted him reading the speech afterwards on X, and it got over 3 million views. And it was only because a guy we know who has a kid who goes to the same school as this kid reached out to me, and he goes, "Hey, I got a story for you." And that's the beauty of having sources, knowing people, and people knowing that you have a TV show, because he reached out, shared the story with me, said, "Don't mention my name," and I didn't, but he put me in touch with the dad, and the dad agreed to give me the exclusive first interview. So without further ado, in case you didn't see it, here's Wednesday's Newsmax, the top of the Newsmax show, and the interview with Jimmy Hayward and his family. Good evening and welcome to the Leventhal Report. I'm Rick Leventhal. We begin tonight with an exclusive interview on a topic you wouldn't normally see as the lead story on most newscasts, because this show will never be like most newscasts. It's my goal to bring you stories you probably won't see anywhere else, or if you do, it won't be covered as honestly, as thoroughly, or with the same context and perspective you'll get here. This story is about a patriotic young man, a 13-year-old middle schooler named Jimmy Hayward. Jimmy is a 7th grader at St. Bonaventure Catholic School in Huntington Beach, just a few miles from us here in Southern California. Huntington Beach, by the way, is known as Surf City. They have annual surf competitions there. It's also known as a very conservative town. In fact, during COVID, the bars and restaurants there flipped the script and said masks were not required. Instead, you couldn't wear one and get in, which is ironic when you consider what happened to Jimmy. He is a super patriotic kid. So patriotic, he's been dressing up as former presidents every Halloween, as you can see, for years. George Washington, Ronald Reagan, Donald Trump, and Abraham Lincoln. Here's a video his mom shot that year.
I'm Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States of America. You can find me on the $5 bill. Call me Honest Abe.
Well, he sure seems like a patriotic kid. The year Jimmy dressed in the Ronald Reagan costume, a local news crew came to their school and they interviewed this young man. It was Jimmy who they put in their segment. And here's something else. I just found out. Jimmy's 6th grandfather was one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence, Thomas Hayward Jr. And his great-grandfather fought in World War II. So Jimmy has a strong pedigree, and patriotism is in his blood, literally. Maybe that's why Jimmy decided to run for office in his private Catholic school elections. Jimmy wanted to be the St. Bonaventure Class of 2025 Commissioner of Patriotism and School Spirit. He didn't make up the title. The school had just added the position. Jimmy wanted to run for president, but since he wasn't on student council last year, he didn't qualify. So he worked on his speech for days, getting ready to present to the whole school. Worked really hard on it, his parents say, and when he was done, he shared it, as he was told to do, with the school's new principal, Mary Flock. Now, according to Jimmy's parents, he met all the deadlines and followed all the procedures leading up to the big assembly. The day before, after the principal read the speech, his parents say she demanded he cut an entire section about patriotism for the final draft. Jimmy moved some words around and tweaked his remarks, but refused to take out the patriotism paragraph because he felt it was the most important part, and explained why he wanted the position so bad. His parents say Flock reviewed the final draft the night before and told him again to remove the comment, and Jimmy once again refused. Instead, he printed his final draft of the speech, laminated it, and put it in a red plastic folder and headed to school to deliver his remarks the next morning. His parents say the principal stuck to her guns and refused to let him give that speech. Instead, he sat on the stage for the whole assembly while his classmates made their speeches, which his parents say was a humiliating experience. Before we introduce Jimmy and his family, here is the part of the speech they say the principal would not let him read, which Jimmy then recorded after Thursday's assembly.
Sadly, some people take their citizenship for granted, whether it is disrespecting the people who protect us or eating nachos during the national anthem at a sporting event. Many people recite the Pledge of Allegiance without understanding its meaning. If someone doesn't truly know what they are pledging to the United States of America, they might as well be reciting the lyrics to Shake It Off by Taylor Swift. I want to fix this so everyone understands the meaning of the Pledge of Allegiance. As the Commissioner of Patriotism, I would have the crucial task of creating ways to bring more patriotism to SBS. I love my country, and I love St. Bonaventure, but I want to strengthen our patriotism in the school spirit.
So that is the part the parents say the principal refused to let Jimmy read. A 13-year-old boy running for Commissioner of Patriotism, whose grandfather's grandfather, going back 6 generations, actually signed the Declaration of Independence. Jimmy's parents posted that video of Jimmy reading that speech on X, formerly known as Twitter, and it's already gotten more than 3 million views. But Jimmy and his parents haven't been interviewed about this until right now. So let's welcome Jimmy Hayward, his mom Hattie, and his dad Ed. And there they are. Jimmy, let's start with you.
Thank you.
How you're welcome. How disappointing was it for you not to be able to give that speech to your classmates?
It was very disappointing, especially because I just wanted to bring good to the school.
Why was it so important to you to be elected commissioner of patriotism?
Because I've always loved like everything, whether it's, I mean, I'd love to be the president one day, but I wanted to bring things, whether it was restoring the courtyard, making pep rallies fun, but greatly teaching my fellow classmates history and then strengthening the patriotism within us.
Well, Ed and Hattie, I'm glad to see you guys can smile now, but this had to be devastating for your entire family. Tell me about how rough that Thursday morning was.
It was extremely difficult to watch Jimmy sit up on the stage and basically know that he wasn't going to get the chance to do this speech. And as a parent, one of the worst things or worst feelings is not being able to protect your kid or be there for them. And I physically couldn't run on the stage and give him the hug that I wanted to, but I just kept trying to get eye contact with him and just to reassure him that I was still there and that, you know, I was hoping he would see that I was being strong and that he would be able to, you know, be strong and get through the assembly.
Ed, I want to play devil's advocate for a moment. You did know that the principal had an issue with the speech. Did you not think that she'd follow through with refusing to let him read it? Did you think that she would cave under pressure that morning?
I thought he was still going to be able to speak. When we first saw her comment on the Google Docs where they correspond with the teachers, and she told him to remove the entire section. It wasn't to revise it, or just to remove it. I told him, but you don't have to remove that. You should reword it in a way that's not going to come off offensive to anybody. And so he went back and he revised it, and then later on resubmitted it, multiple times. And then she reviewed it and commented again at 10:52 p.m. or so. And then in the morning, when I was walking up to where all the parents were watching it, I saw her speaking, holding the speech, pointing out to Jimmy that he couldn't do it. And I saw Jimmy mouthing the words, I'm not going to remove it. I'm not going to remove it. And then that's kind of what started everything.
I appreciate that you shared all the background materials with me, all the evidence that you have collected that show the timeline of events. And I know you've been talking to the diocese about all of this. Have you gotten any satisfaction so far about what happened?
We've received absolutely no response from them up until, when Hattie first posted the event on Facebook, it was really just to let the community know. We had absolutely no clue it was going to turn out like this. And they still hadn't even responded then. It wasn't until it hit Twitter that the Father Vincent kind of replied. But other than that, they tried to set up a meeting. They rescheduled the meeting. But I've texted and emailed, Hattie's texted and emailed high members up in the diocese. They've received the emails or the text messages. Nobody's reached out at all. And that's really the most important, the most disappointing part is nobody's responded to anything until it went viral. And I don't think we would have received any type of comment in a timely manner, at least, if it didn't get to where it got.
Jimmy, what about that commissioner position? Has the election happened yet? Are you still a candidate?
So the election happened a week from tomorrow. And so I did lose, but there were signs of the teachers calling each other and saying, edit the ballot.
Are you the talk of the school there? Like, are you getting a lot of attention in the hallways now?
Yes, I sure am.
So you do see a career for yourself in politics. Maybe this is some kind of learning lesson for you.
Yes, it sure is. It shows how even though there's negatives, I really feel that a lot of positives came out of this, and I really have felt the support of my community.
What about you guys, Hattie and Jim and Ed? Where do you go from here? Is it over now?
No, it's not over. We had a meeting with the father of our church, Father Vincent, and we basically told him that we expect the church and the school and the diocese to make the right decision and do what needs to be done. We're not going to tell them what they need to do. We feel that they should know the right thing to do because pretty much everyone we've spoken to knows the right thing that needs to happen. And, it just goes beyond that because this principal has tried to discredit Jimmy and our family and even some of the admin at the school saying that we submitted a speech that they didn't get, and that's absolutely false, and we have proof of that. So, they need to make Jimmy, make him look how he's supposed to look, and that's a good kid that just wanted to run for the position and say his speech.
I get it. And Jimmy, I got to say, those costumes were pretty good. And I've never heard of a kid your age wanting to dress up as different presidents every year for Halloween. Where did that come from?
I mean, so I knew patriotism has been in my blood from my family relatives, but I just loved dressing up as presidents. I know there's a lot more on the list, but it has been so much fun going through the years. And I don't know how I'll think in high school, but from here, I don't mind dressing up in high school on Halloween.
Okay. Who are you going to be this year?
I don't know yet, but I'm pretty sure that I want to be Eisenhower.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, good luck with that. Good luck on your campaign for President of the United States. You got my vote. Ed, Hattie, and Jimmy Hayward, thank you all so much for being with us here on the Leventhal Report. Best of luck to you all.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you.
I watched the whole thing. I thought the wife was really pretty, and the kid seemed like he was like his grandpa or something. It
He was
seemed like
really well spoken.
Like he was very
right?
well spoken. Like it seemed like because he has generational patriotism.
Yeah.
It seemed like he was reincarnated into his grandfather. To me, it seemed like it.
Well, someone commented that he should be president in 2050. He said he wants to be president of the United States, and he dresses up as presidents every year for Halloween. Who does that?
Yeah.
And I had not met the family before the interview. I hadn't interviewed them. I talked to the dad on the phone, and I was texting with both of them. But I hadn't interviewed them, and I didn't know if they were going to be good on camera, and the mom told me she was nervous. And I was like, listen, just look into the camera like it's your best friend. Try to relax, breathe, and just tell me the story. Just I'll
be natural.
And I'll lead you through it. I'll ask the questions, and just be honest, and just tell me what happened. And I thought they were great.
Yeah.
They handled it really well, especially the little kid.
Well, the little kid got how many views on TikTok?
Well, it was, as far as I know, it was over 3 million. I haven't looked to see if there are more.
At the time, he had 3 million views on TikTok.
Yeah, I was really surprised by that.
So wait, what do you think of this principal in this school, which is a Catholic school, is, to me, very conservative?
Well, it was before, he told me. The old headmaster, principal, whoever it was a priest, I don't know, who was running the show, I think he died.
Yeah, they never leave.
And so they hire this woman who's woke. And he said she's trying to expand the student body beyond just Catholics who want to go to a private Catholic school. She wants to make it more inclusive.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, this is not okay. What's going on here?
Right.
And there's a lot of hostility, and it's not settled yet, as you probably gleaned from that interview.
So in high school, I went to St. Mary's. And I had a brother who was Father Blaze, but he was a brother, right? Mm-hmm. And he was there when my dad was there at St. Mary's.
Wow.
My mom and dad.
No way.
Swear. And he loved me. Like
I'm
you know,
sure.
I was like homecoming queen in high school.
Yeah.
I was super popular. You know, I was a cheerleader and everything. But I was kind of a little bit of a bad girl, a little bit. And I would smoke cigarettes. It was in the 90s, mind you. And he had these Pall Mall cigarettes. And I'd go and I would visit with him. And he was, I don't know.
How old was he then?
Probably 75.
Oh my God.
Like old. But he was my brother.
What did he say about your dad? Was your dad a good student, or was he
my dad was all-American football player. My dad got full scholarships to UCLA, Vanderbilt. My dad was like a baller football player.
And basketball, right?
And basketball.
Yeah.
He got double full ride scholarships to all these major, beautiful, awesome, tremendous colleges. My dad did. But I would go and I would visit with him, and he would go. Father Blaze would go. Do you want a cigarette? I'm like, yeah, let's go have one, Father Blaze.
Shut up.
I swear.
And you'd go smoke cigarettes with him.
I'd go smoke cigarettes with Father Blaze. I swear. I was so sad when he passed away. They had a beautiful mass in downtown Phoenix for Father Blaze.
Aww.
He was my favorite.
We got a bunch of new patrons this week. I want to welcome you guys. Wendy Azevedo, Mrs. C, Mary Beth Hicks signed up for the full year. You get 10%. Yeah, thank you. You get 10% off when you sign up for the full year, and you can do it anytime. You can edit your pledge. Dawn Ford, Julie Willis, Penny Britz, Mariana Angelos, Stella Sullivan, Melanie Smith.
Happy 21st birthday!
No, it says happy 21 happy.
Oh, sorry.
Steven Zadwidis, Maria Reese. I grew up with the Reese brothers. There were 5 brothers.
How would you say Steven Zad? I would not know how to pronounce it.
I said Zadwidis. I don't know. I get a lot of shout-outs from people who say I pronounce their name correctly. I have one in here, actually. Marcy Davis, party patron. We hope to see you on our Zoom.
Yeah, do the Zooms with us.
Deborah and Yolanda Arredondo edited her membership to a full year. Thank you very much, Yolanda.
Thank you for supporting us.
We appreciate your comments. We want you to know we do read them all. And we don't always have time to respond. And the issue I think we've talked about is when they show up in our phone and we look at it, if we want to reply to it, it takes us back to Patreon, like the homepage. And then we have to scroll through to find that one comment that all we want to do is reply to it. And I should have called Patreon and have a conversation with them about that.
Yeah.
Because
and then Amy is like, I got double charged. We aren't IT here. Like
we're not customer service.
We're not customer service. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I want to help. I don't know. This isn't my platform. I don't know the logistics.
But they do have a customer support there. And
do.
Please, if you're not getting the help you need, then let us know that they're not helping you, and then I'll step in and try to fix it. But initially, in most cases, wouldn't know where to begin. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure they do. Pamela Smith said, Rick, I was able to watch your show on YouTube after it aired. I'd like to know, Pamela, how you did that, honestly, because I still haven't figured it out. Vanessa Roach, we were laughing so hard at the videos of Biden falling all over the place during your debate coverage yesterday. So glad to have you back just in time for the election. Newsmax 2, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Oh, this I read on the Smash, but I thought I'd read it here because she's a patron. Carrie Miller wrote, I love you both so much. My daughter gave me a Rick and Kelly themed Mother's Day card, and it says, Rick and Kelly may be your idols, but you are mine.
I thought it said idiots from here.
I love listening to you guys every day. Started from episode 1 since I joined last month on episode 89 now. I enjoy you both so much. That was 6 days ago. Carrie, what episode are you on now? I want to know how many more you've watched.
I want to know too.
I want to know you when you get all caught up. Jennifer Shepley said you can record it from your streaming service. It saves in your cloud. So that might be how the Haywards recorded it, because they recorded it and shared it with me, which is how I was able to put it here. Kirsten said, I love when you share where you get your outfits, Kelly. And I want you to, I know we don't do commercials here, but all you're going to do is offer them the discount you offer our smashers on these beautiful clothes.
These clothes are so cute. She just shipped me more. More. You guys go to Nordstrom and you will look up Balmain, Balmain. I think that's how you spell it.
Yeah.
And everything's $2,000. The quality of this is phenomenal. I mean, it is perfection. She gave me this little cha-cha.
Ooh.
Cha-cha-cha.
Oh my.
Isn't this
that's
cute?
going to look great on you.
I kind
Are
of
you
want to wear
kidding
this
me?
for Heather McDonald's thing for 70 chic, but I don't know.
I don't know if that's 70s chic, but it's...
I have to try it on though.
yeah, I can't wait to
I'm
see you
a
in
medium. So we'll try it on.
Oh, I can't wait.
kind of look, because I'm Mexican, I kind of look like I'm the hostess at El Ranchito maybe in this. No? A little bit?
They don't have hostesses this hot. Sorry. So tell me about the deal.
They gave me these. I mean, the quality. I don't know if you guys can see how beautiful the quality is.
Is it the buttons that are similar to Balmain? Is that
Yes, it's the buttons and this material.
The stitching or whatever?
The stitching of it. Do you see?
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
What do you call that? That
It's
pleat?
it's like knitting? I don't know what that's called.
So
it's
they're
like-
offering 25% off if you use Kelly's discount code Kelly25, right? Kelly25 at Balmain?
But I don't shop I get things. I went to Elise Walker. Oh my God, I got to show next week we have to put this in our notes because I don't have them here. They have these shoes and they're called Kate. It's like Khaite. And I get my thing out and my friend has these Alaya shoes and they're mesh. They're like the in style shoes. I kind of want to go run and get them really quick and maybe show them.
Okay.
Or should I do that tomorrow? Because I didn't get the other pair. I haven't. Anyways, I'll do that next week.
Okay.
For you guys.
Yeah.
And I got them on Amazon. Amazon. Can you imagine?
Instead of how much? How much were
let's
they?
talk about that now because I sent you that whole thing
All right.
on there.
I can just do a little edit. Go get the shoes.
Okay. But I sent you that whole thing.
Yeah, you did.
Because I really want to, since you asked, I feel like you deserve this.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you. They haven't gotten the other
Whoa,
side.
I didn't even see those. It's like
These-
mesh or something.
Yeah. So, but I'm going to show you the before and after. So my girlfriend, Stephanie Holder, we went with Jeff Lewis. She had these awesome shoes. And then I saw them on her. And I'm like, oh, wow, those are beautiful. Where'd you get those? And she's like, oh, they're Alaya. I'm like, well, how much were those? She was like, $900. I was like, ooh, yikes. So then I went to Elise Walker, where I get everything on sale. And it was funny because I have a whole bunch of girls that work there. And I have one particular friend that I've known for a long time. But she doesn't ever tell me like when the sales are, because I don't buy anything full retail. I buy everything on sale. And I have this girl, Heidi, and she's like, oh, it's friends and family for our top customers. These racks are all, 40% off. And I'm like, the girl that I've known for a long time, how come she needs to? She's like, well, I'm afraid the girl, I'm not going to say her name, might get mad. And I'm like,
Wow.
Why? No, she didn't tell me about this. Like, everyone knows that I don't shop full price on things. Like, I get like, I'm a bargain shopper.
You're good about that.
So then there was these shoes that are black and white, and I'm going to show you a picture of them because I sent this whole thing to Rick.
Yeah.
And they're black, and they have little rhinestones, and they're mesh. These are like the in-style shoes now. And I got my little Amazon thing, and I put my little camera on. I put them on. They have them for, I think, $40, $39.
And there were 900.
They were $900 at Elise Walker. So I go today, and I shared the shoes that on Amazon with my friend Stephanie Holder. She went and she bought them.
No kidding.
Yeah, I showed them to you. You have to show that text message thread to everybody.
I will.
She bought them. She's like, they're not as comfortable, but they're doable.
Yeah.
Like she was
and
like
a fraction of the cost.
Yes, they were $29 versus $9, and they look exactly.
You see, this is a public service.
This is a public
service.
See, this is the stuff I don't tell on the Smash.
This is value that you're getting on Patreon.
See, I'm giving you guys shortcuts on stuff.
Let me read a couple more comments, and then we got to run to the Kim D thing. Pamela Smith said, Kelly, I know this might sound crazy, but sprinkle grated Parmesan on the tortillas as soon as you take them out of the pan. This is the only time I use the Parmesan out of a can. I swear the Parmesan makes a big difference and is so good. This is how Jim Boy's tacos in Northern California are made. Anyone familiar with Jim Boy's knows how good they are.
Okay, I'm going to do that for our next. I'm going to do that for our next smash and say that you're the one who did this. So I'm going to make carne asada tacos, like regular tacos that I get from Trader Joe's, like you know, with the chopped up meat. I'll chop it up with the chicken and everything, and I'll with my cilantro and all that, and then I'm going to do just like you said, Jim Boy's tacos, Pamela. I'm going to do that for Cooking with Kelly. Pamela edition. Jim Boy's tacos.
We don't have Cooking with Kelly this week, but we should do one next week.
Yeah.
Everyone's asking for it. The people love it.
Yeah, for next Patreon, I'm going to do Pamela's.
But we just did tacos, didn't we?
But I'm going to do Pamela's. I'm going to try them.
Okay.
Because she's our patron. I'm going to try this.
Kelly Meyer said, I just want to say thank you for the welcome shout out, as well as for not screwing up my name. Most people pronounce it Kelly Meir. I know it's dumb for a 49-year-old woman to get excited to hear Rick say my name on the show, but for whatever reason, it gave me a little thrill. Haha, looking forward to catching up on all the old episodes, as well as watching all the ones to come. Love you guys. And then Robin Dickman goes, I'm 60, and I get excited every time he says my name.
Robin
He's hot.
Dickman! You're homie.
Thank you, Robin. That's awesome.
We love you, Robin.
I really appreciate that. So nice.
We love our Robin.
We talked about the magnesium on the smash, and I don't want to do commercials
what
here.
about our Ted Nugent? You couldn't do Ted Nugent. Probably everyone was looking forward to.
Yeah,
but I think everybody understood.
I didn't even have a chance to mention it on Newsmax on Thursday because my show was so abbreviated because I had to wait for Trump to finish. So I had like 2 minutes, and Ted Nugent was supposed to be my guest. And they asked him, thank God he said, I can't do it. Because they asked him if he would basically stand by until we had time to take, until the speech ended. I'm so glad he said he couldn't. Because if he had, he would have sat there for the whole hour like I did, and he would not have gotten on TV.
Yeah.
He would have gotten on for 30 seconds. So I'm trying to rebook him for next week. But the crazy thing is, Kelly and I went to play pickleball yesterday with our friend David McDevitt and a couple other people. And David's from Detroit. And in the middle of the pickleball game, out of nowhere, he goes, hey, you remember Ted Nugent? You know who Ted Nugent is? And I look at him and I go, yeah. Because I had just booked Ted Nugent on my show. And David didn't know that. He goes, yeah, when I was in high school and I played high school tennis, Ted Nugent's nephew was on the other team. And we were playing, and because I had hit him with a ball or something earlier yesterday, and he goes, and I smashed a ball at him and hit him right here and broke his nose.
No way.
Ted Nugent's nephew. Yes. And I go, really? You know what's funny? I'm interviewing Ted Nugent tomorrow. But then I didn't. So that happens. It happens. So do you want to say anything about Kim D? Because first of all, I want to thank all you guys for your ongoing support, for being here, for being patrons, for being with us, and for enjoying our content. And I promise you, we're going to keep bringing it. We have more great guests coming. This week's guest, Kim D, I hope you'll enjoy. But you had some thoughts about her.
Yeah, but they got a lot of negativity on our smash about her. I like her. I mean, she wasn't a housewife, but she was she was a part of the New Jersey Housewives.
She was always a friend?
She was always in a friend role, yeah.
But on and off, she said for 6 seasons, I think. Yeah.
So wait, I just want to show you these shoes. If you get them on Amazon.
Careful with your...
I got it. So there's a little thing in here, right? To hold your foot in there. But if you get them, you have to get them a size smaller. So... I mean, these are size 39, size 9.
Those are really wild looking.
Aren't they cute, though, for summertime?
Yeah.
And they're adorable.
And your foot can breathe.
If you look at Neiman Marcus or Saks Fifth Avenue or Elise Walker, see, there's a little thing to hold it. I went on top of it, but you're supposed to stick your toe underneath this little thing here.
I wonder how long they'll last. I wonder if the difference is...
Who cares? They're $29. You think these are going to be in style next year? I don't think so.
Good point.
I mean, who cares?
You know what, honey? Thank you for not paying retail.
Could you imagine? See, I give you guys tips and deals on this show. Nobody else does.
All right, well, speaking of tips and deals, if you're not taking your magnesium, you need to. You should be taking your magnesium every day. Go to soullife.com, get your double discount. Order 2 or more bottles, you get $10 off at checkout. Put it on auto order, and you get the double discount, $20 off a bottle. Everybody needs their minerals. Soul Life has awesome, highly absorbable, all natural, not vegan minerals, and the magnesium in particular is so good for you.
Yes.
And helps you so much. We talked about it in the Smash. I just want to remind our patrons, because we do want to share our deals with you guys too. Not a commercial necessarily, but soullife.com/Rick and Kelly. We hope you'll go there. And here's the Kim D interview without any further pause. And listen, have a happy, wonderful, safe Memorial Weekend. Don't forget to thank our service members. If you see any, former or current
Thank you
Marines,
for your
Army,
service.
sailors,
It's really
airmen.
important. They've done such a great job for all of us here in the United States.
Utmost respect to you guys. Memorial Day honors those who have fallen, and we should all take a moment at some point over this weekend, really
say a
every
little
day,
prayer.
and thank them. All right. Have a great week, and we will see you right back here again next week.
And God bless.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, we are recording.
Okay.
All right. You
All
want?
right.
You
No,
want
you
me to-
start because you're the professional.
Okay.
I'm not professional.
You are the professional, Rick. I am thrilled. I'm thrilled to do this. I really am.
Well,
Humbled.
we're-
I'm kind of humbled.
We're excited to have you, Kim D. Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much for joining the Rick and Kelly show, and
My
for
pleasure.
being willing to tell all about your experiences as a Real Housewife of New Jersey. And
Mhm.
And
A friend. I was a friend.
and your life. And
Yes.
but you were a friend, but you were in a big integral part of the show, I think.
I tend to think so too. I think I could still be in it. I think I could save the show.
I want to ask you about that first and foremost.
Okay.
The ratings are
Okay.
down. Why do you think that is?
I just spoke about this on my podcast. I know all the ladies and I'm friendly with all of them. Okay. They're all dug in. Now, what I mean by dug in is the one side thinks the other side's going to be fired and the other side thinks the other side's going to be fired. And they're dug in. They're emotional. This is a business. You've got to think of it as a business. And none of them want to do that. And they believe in their minds that they're doing the right thing by icing the other people out because they're going to win. Nobody wins in this because this show might be canceled because of this.
Right.
It might be canceled. They
Just
can't
like New
continue
York.
to do this.
Just like New York got canceled. Not in a million years did we ever think New York would get canceled.
Never.
Well, these
Right,
shows
never.
are all about relationships, and when people won't film with each other or won't talk to each other, it kind of kills the vibe, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of who was on. I can't think of her name. The girl that was just recently on Andy Cohen. She was the one that when she was on the red carpet and she had this crazy eye makeup and they say to her, who did your makeup? And she's like, oh, I did. What the heck? She has the new blonde hair now. So what?
Think about New
Julia
York.
Fox?
I think
No, but Julia, it could be Julia Fox. So anyway, she's on Andy Cohen and Andy
I
says
don't
to her,
watch Andy Cohen.
all right. Well, she was on Andy Cohen, and this is what he says to her. He goes, isn't it refreshing, though, that Teresa and Melissa hate each other and they're finally admitting it? She goes, no. She goes, and you're their boss. You should step in because they should be told they need to film with each other and they have to be in the same room. If that doesn't make sense, I don't know what does. Either you want to be on the show and get paid $1 million or you don't. That's it.
we got a lot of questions from our viewers, including the two Josephs, who are the ones who hooked us up with you in the first place, and
Love it.
they're awesome, and they want to know if you're Team Louis and what your relationship with Teresa is like today.
Okay. I just laughing. I am not team anyone. Okay. I'm friends with all of them, but I met Louis in person and he was lovely to me and he was lovely to my friends. And I'm going to take him at face value, the way he treats me.
That's how we say it.
And
That's exactly what we say.
We felt the
about-
same way. We heard a lot of negative stuff about him. We met him. He was an awesome guy, very charming, and seemed super cool.
We out with him in St. Bart's. Rick has his number. They talk back and forth. He was very nice to us, and that's
and he's a generous, nice guy.
yeah.
Is he getting a bad
Listen,
rep?
I don't know too many people who are not flawed. I am. There's no, and I like that. You know what I mean? I like that about me. And that's who I am. And that's how I've lived my life. So what I think, and this is if I was his life coach, or if I would have been someone that he came to before he started filming, I would have said, listen, It doesn't matter what you did before. It doesn't matter about your old relationships. What matters is that your relationship with Teresa. Own everything. Say, yeah, I did it. What are you going to do about it? That's who I was before. Now I met the love of my life. That's what are you going to do? But they try to deny. Everyone does this. You try to deny and deny and deny. Just say, yeah, I did it and move on. So it's not a story anymore.
Right.
Do you talk to the other current Jersey housewives?
Yes.
Who are you the closest with?
I would say Dolores. I'm on the phone with Dolores every day.
Can you tell her?
We're very close.
Can you tell her I said hi?
I absolutely will.
I used to do these meet and greets with her all over the place. And she's
great.
She was just great. How does she get to stay like Switzerland? Like, what does she do to just stay Switzerland all the time?
She's smart. And I told her 2 years ago, I said, when everything was really happening, really heating up, when Melissa and Teresa decided we're done, like we don't care, we hate each other. I said to Dolores, listen, girl, you are the safest one on this show. And what happens? She's in the middle. You see the new picture? They put her in the middle. She's the safest one. She's smart. She knows it's a business and she's going to fight when she needs to fight, but she's going to not sweat the small stuff, and that's how she stays relevant.
Do you think there's any chance that Teresa gets kicked off the show? And if that were to happen, would Jersey survive?
I think it would survive, and I also think Teresa should have her own show. I don't know how long that would last. And I don't know how well it would do or whatever, but she's got her 4 daughters. She has him. They have a larger than life, the big, beautiful home. They're traveling all the time. They have his son living with them. There's exes. You got Joe that lives in. I think they could do something with that. And I think the show would survive. But do I think they want to do that? I don't. But I think there's a good chance someone's off this season. Someone's off. Jen Aiden's in big trouble. I mean, to me, she's going to be the sacrificial lamb. That's my opinion of what I know.
What do you think of Jackie? I liked her in real life. I thought she was.
Well, I don't like her only because she's very snobby. Like she thinks who she is. Like that's what I've found from her. I don't like when people look down on people and say oh, look at the way she dresses, or I don't like that. You could say that kind of behind closed doors, but not on camera.
What about Margaret Josephs?
I have no problem with Margaret. I know people are going to flip out over that, but she hasn't done anything to me personally. And she sent me her brushes because I wanted to do like a live, and we went over all her brushes. My makeup artist came in and she sent me glasses, and she hasn't done anything to me personally. So what can I say? What can I say?
I adore Margaret Josephs.
Yeah. What can I say bad? Yeah. I'm not going to take on Teresa and I are friendly again, but I'm not going to take on her enemies. I'm not taking on anybody's enemies.
No, wait, real quick. Your store that you had, right?
Right.
I loved everything in there. Where did you buy from? I absolutely adored your fashions.
Thank you. Well, when I first started, I had like Theory and Vince and Allison Olivia and Hot Hippie. My stuff was off the charts. But then the economy started going. Now we're talking a couple years ago. And the economy was changing. So then I had these young girls working for me, and they were like, you have to go on these websites. And I found all these wholesalers that were kind of like, they were designers, but not like the couture designer. And I start really doing so much better because people with social media don't want to be seen in the same thing twice. Right. So not only was it the economy was changing, these young girls today, they don't want to wear the same dress twice. So it's hard for them to spend the $500 to $1,000. So it was just all different websites that I found that these girls introduced me to, that you would buy wholesale, but you'd have to get like a packet, like 6 of each, whatever. They taught me the ropes.
Are you still in retail?
I don't have a store anymore. I lost it through COVID because Jersey kept us on lock for a long time. I had a med spa and a store in the same town that Louis lived in, Allendale, New Jersey. That's where he lived. And they were right across the street from each other. And once COVID came, I was like, you know what? I've been working a long time. It was time. Okay. It was time to just walk away. And I kept my website.
I want to ask you about Melissa, but before I do that, the two Josephs wanted to know, they say that it looked like Teresa's parents never really liked her. And I wonder if you have any insight into whether they did like their daughter-in-law and whether and what your relationship is with Melissa today.
Okay. I'm going to be honest and say I don't think they liked her. Because I'm known to be honest, okay?
Yeah.
First of all, I think they were concerned because he had had a couple engagements. And then with Melissa, it happened so fast. He meets Melissa, gets engaged, he gets married right away. Teresa's mom and Teresa like kind of worked with him, did his books and all this kind of stuff because he was like, there's, he's their son and she took over. So this is an old-fashioned Italian woman, and they didn't think of Melissa that way. So I don't think they liked her from the beginning. I mean, what I would see when I would go over the house, I didn't hear too many good things.
And you?
So no, I don't think they did.
What do you think of Melissa? I think she's snobby. That's my.
You think she's what?
Snobby. I think she's a snob.
Okay. Well,
I felt like she was snobby.
Okay. I say that she's the best liar I know. I've told her that to her face. We've tried to mend our friendships. We have a couple of times. I think that my biggest problem with her, and not even a one-on-one situation, is I don't like a liar. Like, I'm too honest. I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say, you know what? Too bad I said it, and that's it. And I think, Kelly, you're the same way. I'd rather be.
I was just going to say that.
I'd rather be honest and hurt people than to lie.
I can't live with my lie. I can't live with that. I can't look at myself in the mirror. I feel I have integrity by not lying. Okay. Now, I'm not looking to run around the streets and hurt people, but this is my job now to do the podcast, and people want the truth. So every time I've tried to like her, we travel in the same circles. We live, like I live in Wayne, she lives in Franklin Lakes, they're one town over. And she's contacted me. I ran into her at a restaurant and I didn't walk over and say hello. I just, gave him the little smirk and walked away. And she texted me the next day and she said, can't we put this behind us? Like, I know you have a podcast. You have to say certain things. I'm like, if you're willing to, I am. But then there's things that happen that I have to report on that I'm like, why can't, and I even tell Joe Gorga, why can't you give me a reason? Because we do round of applause here, give me a reason to say something nice.
Right.
Give me a reason.
Real quick. So Dina lives near me in Dana Point, and Jacqueline Loretta live right near me in Irvine. They both live near me. And I talk to them every once in a while. Why do you think Teresa and Dina are not speaking terms? Are they or are they not?
Yeah. Okay, this is an opinion now.
Okay.
This is an opinion from what I've heard. When they all went to wherever it was, I forget, Tulum or something, for Teresa's 50th birthday. Remember, he got the private jet, took all her friends. That's when something went awry. I don't know what it was, but ever since then, the relationship has not been the same. But Teresa tells me she still talks to Dave. She feels that Dina's just going through a rough time right now. As a matter of fact, I'm going to drop this right now. I didn't drop it on our podcast. Dina Manzo, whatever her new name is in court as we speak. She went to court yesterday and today against her ex-husband. She's in New Jersey testifying.
Wow.
So she listened. Things have not been, because they had supposedly, allegedly, he sent someone to beat her and the husband up because they cheated on him with her. Like they whatever. That's how they wound up together. And supposedly they got caught. Now it's all alleged because this is in court right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it happened twice. They
What
attacked.
about Caroline? Are the sisters still at odds?
They do not. Dina doesn't talk to any of her family members.
Wow.
She
She
is.
talk to Jacqueline or her brother?
Nope. Her brother Chris once in a while. Once in a while they'll talk.
What do you
Jacqueline
think,
and her don't talk at all.
what do you think of Bravo and Evolution and Andy? Did they treat you fairly?
Yeah,
And are,
Evolution. She didn't have Evolution. You had Shed Media. Who was your production company?
Sirens.
Oh, Siren.
It was Sirens.
do you feel like
No.
you're treated fairly and you have a good relationship with them to this day, or no?
They did not treat me fairly. Let's be honest. There were so many things that I even said on the second reunion, when I had the clink clink moment. I ripped Melissa and Teresa to pieces. It was funny, but they cut a lot of it out. Those are their stars. you know. And when I walked off the stage, the head producer, Lucilla, goes, "Oh, you just got your own show." You'd like, of course, I didn't get my own show, but like your performance was phenomenal. Now I see it back and they cut half of it, you know, and a lot of the things that they did to me throughout the years, do I feel I was paid enough? No, they paid me, but not enough. Things that they did, they sideswiped me many ways, but I knew what I signed up for. Right. And I was a team player. Also, when I signed the contract, there's many times they tap me on the back and would want me to do things. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Right. There's no way.
How many seasons did you film?
I think about 6. I think 6 on and off. 6, yeah. 6 or 7.
How would you rate the overall experience?
I loved it. I mean, that's who I am. You know what I mean, Rick? I'm not this wussy girl. Like, I'll go on tomorrow. You give me money and you put a camera in front of my face and I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
I'm not worried.
I would love to be in a cast like New Jersey. Like, I couldn't stand the people from Orange County because they really don't represent Orange County.
Right.
You know, Dina doesn't represent, she lives all the way out in Rancho Santa Margarita. Same with Tamara. Same with to all those girls don't represent. Right.
And it feels like they're acting for the cameras, right? They're pretending.
That's what I saw from that show.
Yeah, that's
what I saw.
But I did like the process. I did have fun. I had fun, but the backstabbing was awful. Like, I was talking to Adrienne Maloof the other day and my friend's birthday party, and she was like, I liked it, but I didn't like the backstabbing of it.
It's terrible.
That was the terrible part.
Is Jersey more authentic, you think, than the others, or no?
I think now it is. I think for a while, when I was on, it was authentic. It could not be, you know? Yeah. But then when I was off, I saw a couple years and I'm like, none of this is true because I know them all. It was all fake storylines and it was boring. I believe it's true now. And I believe this reunion, no holds bar. These people truly hate each other. I've never felt hate in my life. I don't know what that feels like. Thank God. They hate each other. I talk to them. I can't believe the conversations that I hear, like one's in one ear, my phone rings all day long. Okay. So in the morning, it'll be maybe James Leonard, and then it might be Teresa, and then it's Dolores. And I'm like, oh my God, like the hate is palpable. I just can't even believe. I'm like, relax. This is, you know, you're making money here.
What do you think of?
Get it.
What do you think of Joey?
What do you think?
Yeah.
I think he needs to grow up. He's 50 years old and he's still doing shots and blow up dolls.
I think he's funny. I liked him in real life.
I don't like that kind of humor.
Oh, you don't? I think he's hilarious.
I thought it was funny when he was talking about Fessler and the husband. Yeah, I rode Gandolfini. Like, those things are funny. But, I don't like when he was taking the bottles and dumping the liquor down the waitresses' throats. And I don't go for that stuff. Like, that's not me. I'm a little prudish when it comes to that. But, do I think he's a bad guy? I don't think he's a bad guy.
Caroline Manzo really made out with Brandi Glanville.
I think Caroline Manzo lied. I think she lied. I think she overstated it. I think she thought when she got to that island, wherever they were, that she was going to have her peacock moment because thought she was big time in Jersey, and it didn't happen. And I think she felt uncomfortable with them. And I think that it got to her and she used that as an excuse. I'm sure a couple things have happened. I know who Brandi is. I know what she does, but I think she elaborated on it and that was her way off the show. That's my opinion.
Kelly thought that the next morning she had regret about what she had filmed.
That's what I heard from the people.
That too.
And told her husband was like, you got to get the hell out of there.
I'm friends with the people that were there. And they said that she actually did indeed make out with Brandi Glanville. And that she woke up the next morning, told her husband, and her husband freaked out and said, the Manzos don't do this, and we're going to sue. So it's never, ever out there.
I would be surprised that he wouldn't care. I don't think he would give two shits if she made out with anyone, to be honest with you. I really don't.
If the husband cared and it was on camera.
Yeah, well, I don't think that was the problem. I heard she was saying some stuff about Dina. And I heard that, yeah. And I think that she called him and she elaborated more to him too. I don't think it would have just been kissing. He's not that kind of guy.
Oh, he's not.
I know Albert very well. No.
Yeah. Okay. He wouldn't care if she made out with.
No.
Where do you see that lawsuit going?
I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I think that the producers already stuck up for Brandy. Okay. They said they didn't see any of this. All the girls there said they didn't see anything. All of them.
Every single one of them are sticking up for Brandy.
Yeah. I mean, I think Brandy has a suit more than Caroline does.
Do you think that show will ever air?
Nope. I think it's done. It can't because it just can't because there's too much controversy around it and it could cause more lawsuits and more problems. They got their hands full right now, Bravo. They got their hands full.
Yeah.
And now with this show, I mean, you know, have you seen what's going on with these bloggers that how they turned on Jen and Teresa and James Leonard and how they said they were getting the screeners up front. Now no one on the cast are getting the screeners anymore. This girl, she was like, what do we call her? Baby reindeer? She's like baby reindeer. This Martha. I mean, yeah, she's putting out, she doxed Teresa's number. She doxed Jen's number. I mean, this is some crazy stuff going on here. So I don't know what they're going to do. That Bravo has their hands full.
Yeah.
They really do.
You think there'll be another girls trip ever?
They listen, if they made money, that's all they care about.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so
that's all they care about.
April, our Patreon said, your loyalties appear to be divided between Teresa, Jackie, Danielle, Caroline, and Melissa. Who were you closest friends with and who did you meet first?
First was Jacqueline and Danielle Staub, and then Teresa.
Okay.
Jacqueline and Danielle shopped at Posh, and so did Teresa.
Okay. Where are you involved with bringing Melissa's old boss on the show? Was that a setup?
Yeah, by Bravo. Melissa's old boss, Angelo. Okay. He was her old boss.
Uh-huh.
He was the manager of Lookers. Okay. And
at a strip bar? Yeah.
And he came on, and when he walked up to the table, she clearly knew who he was. She said hello. I think she texted Joe, her husband, under the table. This is a setup because he lived like an hour and a half away. So hours into it, all of a sudden Joe shows up screaming and yelling. And Richie Wakili tells me now that he was in the car with Joe saying, you got to calm down. He goes, these stories are all over. Everywhere we go, we hear stories like this. Were you going to make a big deal of it every time you hear it and blame other people? So, but me and him went at it bad. That's how I got my biggest contract. When I said I said, you're a midget. I play with the big boys.
Oh, hey, yeah. Hey, okay. I had a thing with the big boys that somebody, that she asked. What did you mean when you said you run with the big boys when talking to Joy Gorga?
Well, they can read my book, My Life with the Big Boys. There weren't any bigger than the people I grew up with that were my stepfather, then who I married.
Mafia ties, kind of?
Yeah. It was what?
Mafia ties?
Oh, huge.
So about your book, is it about the mafia? Is it
it's Sex in the City meets the mob?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
What's the title? Growing Up with the Big Boys?
Yeah. My Life with the Big Boys.
Oh, My Life with the Big Boys.
My Life with the Big Boys. We just showed a picture.
Yeah.
On my podcast of me with Diana Ross and the Supremes. I was a really little girl. And I told the story that we used to go to the Copacabana. We were the ones where they put the table in the front. You know, it was with my stepfather's boss, his young son, and me and my mom. And his wife was Dottie with red hair and blue eyes like my mom. So they say, they tell Diana Ross, we want you to take a picture with these kids. And she goes, I don't do pictures. And they go, you'll do this one. And she did. And I have the picture. We just showed it. I have it. I have pictures with everyone, but she was like, I don't do that. Yeah, you will.
Tell us about your
podcast.
Big.
Yeah,
tell about my stuff. My stuff. Oh, my podcast. You know, this is what we're trying to do. And Angel's sitting across from me. We really want it like almost like a Wendy Williams. We want like a talk show. We want to bring up hot topics. We talked about J-Lo today. We talked about Wendy Williams. We talk about movies. And then we talk about we talk about Bravo. We also critique the outfits because I've been in fashion pretty much my whole life. So we'll bring up the fashion and I say yay or nay. We do hot topics like hot or not, Like Angel brought in all the house husbands and I said hot or not. We did actors. People seem to really like that because it lightens up. You know, people right now, the world is crazy. I don't have to tell you that. We agree on that. The world is crazy. So they asked me, can we just have something light to watch and hear? And they're loving that part of the show. So we're going more in that direction. Besides the gossip, they love the gossip.
How often do you do the show?
Once a week. We come in every Wednesday. We come to the studio and then it airs every Saturday.
And what's the name of it?
Get Real with Kim D.
Yeah,
Get
there
Real.
it is.
I'm telling you, I have my moments. I'm like, wait, what is it? No, Get Real with Kim D.
Okay. Speaking of getting real, so a couple people have asked us about your relationship with David Yontef.
I can't stand
Okay.
that. And that meme that someone made between you and I was
Angel made it. He's sitting right here. Angel made it.
Oh
Wasn't
my
it
God.
good?
That
Angel.
mashup?
Angel,
Oh
that
my.
was hilarious. Oh
Angel,
my-
sit in for a minute.
Wait, I wanna see Angel.
Here's the thing. Angel did this. Angel like does all my graphics and all that. So he could not tell him a little bit how you found theirs.
Yeah,
Like, how
you
did
know, it was a post. I think Kelly had posted it recently, and everything that you guys were saying verbatim were what we said. And I was like, oh my God, Rick said what I said. Kelly said what you said. And I just put it back to back. I thought it was so
It
funny.
was fabulous.
That Jack Nicholson in The Shining, that is Kumasi Khan sitting all by himself, screaming and yelling in this new weird voice that he has.
His voice sounds like this. He talks like this.
How is it weird though? Is it deeper?
No, it's a higher screaming and
Like nails to a chalkboard. Like I don't know how he even has a podcast.
Cause his voice is so irritating.
you know, like and it's
Like he
You sound like he's a Muppet. Like
yeah, well, he's just like he's got this manic voice. Not.
I was in a Facebook Bravo group a few years ago, and he was booted out for being a creep with cast members. He'd wait outside, watch What Happens Live studios for hours.
When we met him, he was hanging out outside the studios in New York where they film Watch What Happens Live. That's when I met him.
To get a picture with any Real Housewife on the show.
Because he would hang out there to like, I don't know, get autographs or pictures
He's a hanger-on in the truest sense of the word.
with
he's
the
a
guests.
fanboy. He's irritating.
So I'll give you a little rundown. So it was during COVID. It was right before COVID. And I'm a homebody. Like I'm always in my bathrobe, in my pajamas. I got 8 dogs, you know, whatever. So I'm always home. So this dude says, come on he doesn't say Patreon. I know nothing about this stuff. Okay. I don't even go on the internet really. I don't have a computer. So I'm like, all right, I'll come on with you and give my opinion. And it was COVID or whatever. So now he would say, well, we got to do it on Tuesday and it's going to air on Saturday. I'm like, I'm thinking it's a regular podcast. So now I'm getting up at like 7:00 in the morning, getting myself ready, barely going to the bathroom, grabbing my coffee. And I'm like, why does this dude have to do it then? And I let it go. He was my friend. I let it go. Now my friends are saying, this dude, he's making a lot of money off of you. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's a podcast. How much could he make? No, you don't understand. It's a Patreon. What do you mean? He has people that pay to listen just to you on Saturdays. So now my mind is going, right? But it's COVID. I'm still letting it go. Finally, I approach him. I said, David, how much, what are you doing? People said that you're making all this money off of me. He goes, they're lying to you. They're filling your head with lies. It's not true. Okay. That was it. Once you lie to my face, that was it. I text him. I said, it's done. It's done. I'm not doing this with you anymore. We could stay friends. We're not doing this. I call Andrew because I had done podcasts here. I said, Andrew, would you like to be a part of my podcast? I'm going to start my own on Patreon. He goes, I would love to. I call up my writer. She wrote a book on podcasts. She lives in Chicago. Would you like to be a part of my Patreon? They said, yeah. And I started my own show. And probably within, I don't know, first 2 weeks, half of his Patreons left and came over to me. And I don't know what's going on now. He gets very little likes.
Yeah.
But you know, he lied. I mean, he just kept lying.
Yeah.
Just kept lying. So he used me. He used me as I did as a friend and he used me.
Wow.
Yeah. And he's just no good. He's right now, even Rachel, you could tell. Remember, he was using her. She blocked him. He
Good.
used her for
I
clickbait.
love
I'm doing her shit. Yeah.
She's my homie.
Everybody blocks him now.
Yeah.
Now, someone sent us a couple of clips, and they said that every season your loyalty changed. You kept shifting. That as for viewers, they say it was bonkers. In the first clip that they sent us, you were on Teresa's side, and the next clip you were against Teresa. Was that something?
No, I was against Teresa. I was never on her side. Teresa and I were enemies, arch enemies. I came on like gangbusters against her and Louis. Never once did I was. Listen, that's why James Leonard put out, we got to flip this girl. Yeah, we got to flip her. This is crazy. And he would listen and be like, oh my God, what are we going to do with this one? No, that's not true. No, I never ever was for Teresa. I was against her and Louis bad.
Do you think she knew what was going on with her ex-husband, and do you think that she had more of a role in that, or she really was like
absolutely not? She had no clue. First of all, Teresa was the type. I knew her and Joe very well. I used to be at her house all the time. I was very close with Teresa. We would talk to each other. 17
at your store. Did she spend a lot of money at your store?
Oh my God, she would be in my store constantly. We would go out all the time. We did press together. We were like sisters. We were that close. Okay. Teresa is not now. Just knowing Teresa the way you know her. They put a piece of paper in front of her. You think she's going to read it, or you think she's going to sign it? Just sign it.
Right.
No.
Well, we know because our friend wrote her books for her, and she's like, she didn't even read her own book. So I don't believe she knew anything.
Zero.
Yeah.
Zero.
I mentioned it earlier. I just want to get your thoughts on Andy Cohen.
I think he's a queen. Listen, Andy Cohen is Andy Cohen. He's a queen. He has his favorites. He's always been respectful of me. So we see each other socially. Very lovely to me. I went to his book signing. He made the biggest deal. Oh my God, it's Kim D. It's Kim D. Put me all over his social media. You know, when Ziggy and Dolores went to him and they said, we want Kim to be a full-time housewife. We want her on. He goes, I don't see her that way. He didn't say it in a mean way. I don't see her as a housewife.
Do you think he fired Siggy because she's a conservative?
I think she left. I was on the phone with Siggy, and he didn't know at the time that she was. I was on the phone with Michael Campanella and Siggy, and Michael gave her an ultimatum because she could not handle the show. She couldn't handle it.
Right.
She could not handle it. She left the show. He did not fire her.
I think it's weird that Andy Cohen was so political and speaking about politics all the time, but now
terrible.
Now that the Jewish stuff comes out, that he's not talking about it anymore. Like he won't speak it.
I'm in shock over this stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
The Jewish community blows my mind. And that's as far as they blow my mind. This government is so against Israel. I don't get it.
I don't either.
Whether you like the other side or you don't. Yeah. How could you promote someone who's basically saying they don't want to protect Israel? I don't get it. But they still do.
There's a lot of people don't even understand what's going on. You go to the college campuses and they don't even.
Yeah, no, they're just sheep. They're just following
sheep. They have no idea. They have no idea. It's very sad what's happening to our youth, and it's sad what's happening in the colleges. It's very sad.
I have one more question from a viewer about an allegation that the Fuda's tiling company did the tiles for free in Joe and Melissa's new house, and that's how they got on the show. Have you heard anything about that?
I reported that. I had reported that because I had heard that. I did report that. And they vehemently denied it to me. John Fuda says, I don't give anyone anything for free. And that's not how we got on the show. He said they interviewed his wife and him once or twice and they put them right on. You know, so that came directly from John. And John saying, Kim, I don't give anyone anything for free. Yeah, I would give him a discount or whatever, but I don't do that. So sometimes you got to take people at their word. But I was the one who reported it because people in Franklin Lakes that lived in the town, they told me, this is before I knew John. They had said, oh, yeah, they gave them all their tile and all that stuff for free. So, of course, you know me, I was like, oh, yeah, you know, that's how I reported it. But I also asked John when I became friends with him.
Do you think he used a double-sided dildo?
I think a lot of people do. I don't think it even matters.
I
heard Louis
Rick doesn't.
I mean, that's what you know what I'm saying. Listen, I'm a prude. If anyone ever said to me, you have to, first of all, yeah, I can't even talk to me about sex. It hasn't happened in so many years. But if someone came to me and said, can you do that? I would say no, because that's just not my gig. But would I put them down for, listen, knock yourself out. Go do what you want to do. Just don't do it in front of me. You know,
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I don't even know why that was even a storyline.
Leave it to Kelly to end with the hardest hitting question.
I just thought it was funny. I thought it was like, I was funny.
Kim D, this has been very, very entertaining, and we really appreciate your time.
And I loved being with you. And listen to me, I congratulate you on getting your own show on Newsmax. I happen to love Newsmax, and I watch it all the time, along with Fox. But I think you were great then, and I can't wait to see how great you're going to be in the future.
You should download the Newsmax app on your phone.
I will.
Every day at 7 p.m. Eastern. I stream.
Okay.
You can watch it on Samsung TV or any other streaming platform. I'm not on.
I have streaming platforms. Yeah.
Newsmax 2. So it's easy to put it on your phone. And I do a monologue every night to open my show, and I think you'll really enjoy it.
Oh my God, I can't wait. I can't wait. All right. When did the show start? How many did I miss?
My first show was last Monday.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
That's what I thought. All right. I'm excited. Kelly, are you excited for your husband?
So excited for him. Over the moon. I mean, it's a lot of work. I don't know how he does it. I was like,
Well, I got to go write my monologue for tonight right now, actually.
So where do you stop? We love your clothes. Do you still have a store online?
I do. We're revamping. There's some stuff there. There's some www.poshbykimd.com, and that's where my book is right now. Okay. I'm pre-selling it. So because they're going to come to my house and I'm going to sign them. We're going to do a whole thing, That's what we did the photo shoot for the cover at my home.
I was so entertaining watching you.
Thank you, Cal. I really love that. And I love being home with my dogs. I don't even go away anymore. I go over like one night to the Hamptons or to the Jersey Shore. I won't even travel anymore. But listen, I loved this experience. It was wonderful for me. And I love the fact that no one knows anything about me. So I'm going to blow their minds. They're going to be like, wait, what? How did we not know this?
Yeah, we're looking forward to reading it.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I'll definitely buy it.
Thank you, Cal. Listen, I wish you both luck too. And I hope I see you again.
Yes, for sure. And if you're in California, you got to look us up.
Well, listen, maybe I'll do a book signing. You never know.
Let's do it. I'll go over there and see you.
I would love it. I really would. See, now that I would come out for because it's work.